Hi Scorpio, this is Tisch Aitken, and this is your monthly report for the month of December. This is an unforgettable year, and this is the final horoscope of the year, which is crazy in and of itself. So I'm going to get right into it. So on the final day of November, there's a lunar eclipse at 8 degrees and 38 minutes of Gemini that took place in your eighth house of wounds and healing and transformation and loss and joint resources. That is the Scorpio house in astrology. And this full moon eclipse is ruled by Mercury because that's the ruler of Gemini. And Mercury is, giving us a lot of information, particularly because it did retrograde in your sign earlier in the year. It just exits your sign on December 1st, actually, so the day after the lunar eclipse. So it actually is at the final degree of Scorpio on the day of the eclipse. So you can expect a lot of information to get uncovered this final part of the year, because the other factor is that Neptune, which rules the sign of Pisces, stations direct on November 28th at 18 degrees of Pisces. And we feel that energy 5 days after. And Neptune fogs our vision, but the fog is getting removed. And eclipses in themselves, when we're in eclipse season, which we will be in December, it's a heightened time, a lot of action and activity. Information gets uncovered. We see things we never saw before in a different light. People and situations can get eclipsed out of our lives in a second. People can come into our lives in a flash. That's the way it is. It's a very unpredictable, frenzied, busy time. And the lunar eclipse is taking place close to the world axis, which means it hits all of us. And the world axis and the mutable signs is 7 degrees. And those signs are Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. So we're all going to feel it, very emotional energy. And on the 1st of December, Mercury exits your sign. It's been transiting in your first house for the majority of the fall, on and off, and it retrograded on October 13th in your sign. So dealing with a lot of shadow issues of your own. And Mars also retrograded this fall, not in your sign, but in Mars is one of the rulers of Scorpio. So that also would have brought up shadow issues for you, and that would have been in your house of habits and work and daily routine, and hopefully allowing you and helping you to get more centered in your health practice and tending to your own mental health issues as well, because we're all dealing with issues of anxiety or concern at this time, obviously. So December 1st, Mercury finally exits your sign. It enters Sagittarius, which is your house of income and how you earn money, and it'll be there until December 20th. Then on December 5th, we have a beautiful aspect. Venus is still transiting in your sign in the beginning of the month, making you the glamorous belle of the ball. And it forms a beautiful trine to Neptune in Pisces. And Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. And Neptune's transiting in your house of romance and creativity. This is excellent for romance. This is excellent for creative projects, for feeling more hopeful, and definitely for manifesting work. We have a lot of Neptune energy in December, which I think is interesting because it's been such a Saturn-driven year around reality and what works and what doesn't, and really focusing on the structures of our lives. And Neptune is completely boundless, so it's the opposite. And I think all of us need to rest and to weep and mourn and release. And that's how we're concluding this year in many ways, with all the Neptune energy inherent to this month. And so we have on the 8th of December, the sun in Sagittarius, which is transiting in your house of income and money until December 21st, forms a square to Neptune in Pisces. And that can be a bit confusing around finances or just feeling a bit depleted. Excellent for manifesting work because Neptune rules the imagination. And to really manifest, you have to believe it to be true. So tap into that part of it and get rest and, just recharge. And on the 13th of December, Mercury, which is transiting in Sagittarius until the 20th, in your house of income and what you value, squares Neptune in your house of creativity. That can be very creative, really good for manifesting work because Mercury rules your thoughts. So journaling what you want to manifest, meditating, manifesting in any way you can. But realistically, there could be some miscommunication and deception, or lies could get uncovered around that time because Neptune will have just stationed direct at the end of November. And again, a lot of influences with Neptune in the month of December. And it's the day before a total solar eclipse that squares Neptune. So even more reason to know that a lot's going to get uncovered and it's going to feel very foggy in December. Manifest, manifest, manifest. So we have this total solar eclipse that takes place on the 14th of December at 11:17 a.m. Eastern Time at 23 degrees and 23 degrees and 8 minutes of Sagittarius. And this falls in your house of income and how you earn money. And this is really exciting because it's ruled by Jupiter, which is the grand benefic. And that's the master manifester of the zodiac. And in the new moon eclipse chart, Venus, still in your sign, forms a very helpful aspect to Jupiter in Capricorn. And Jupiter is in your house of ideas and thoughts and communication. This whole Capricorn tale for you has been in the third house of the mind, really restructuring how you market yourself, how you learn, how you teach, and how you think about the world. And so that's making a facilitating aspect very helpful. New moon in Sagittarius. It's a south node eclipse, so there is a release with the south node. That's what we let go. Neptune squares the nodes of fate. Again, deception could get uncovered, but the very magical, spiritual, manifesting energy, and that's what I'm going to tap into with it. And also with squaring the moon, we are releasing a lot of things. We are saying goodbye to a lot of people, sadly. This is the story of what we're dealing with. And but this new moon eclipse gives us hope as well of the fact that you can create new things. And if you're looking for a job or if you have your own business, this is an excellent opportunity for initiating new things and setting intentions around that and doing the law of abundance on this new moon eclipse. And on the 15th of December, Venus in your sign, Venus transiting in your first house, forms its last aspect before it exits. It forms a nice aspect to Saturn in the sky, and Saturn structures what you're trying to create, and that's helpful. And then Venus leaves your sign and enters the sign of Sagittarius, where it'll be transiting until January 8th. And that's falling in your house of income and how you earn money. So that's helpful for, financial opportunities and for being creative. And on the 15th, Chiron, the wounded healer, stations direct at 5 degrees of Aries. And that's also helpful because that's going to bring a sense of, healing around identity and ego and all of those themes. And for you, that's in the house of habits and daily routines. So hopefully, maybe you're maybe you're doing some healing work about issues about vulnerability of self, so that's helpful. And then we have on the 16th or the 17th of December, depending on where you live, really exciting news. Saturn leaves the sign of Capricorn and enters the sign of Aquarius, and that's going to be at 9:04 p.m. Pacific time on December 16th, or at 12:04 a.m. Eastern time on December 17th. And Saturn will be transiting in Aquarius on and off until March of 23. And it'll be occupying your house of home and family and emotional foundation. And this is not the easiest placement of Saturn because it is a house of endings, and the fourth house is how we get our needs met. It rules the opposite house, which is the 10th house of career. Nonetheless, if you work for yourself, this is good for committing to structuring within your home, really setting your goals. If you want to buy a home, if you're fixing up your place, committing to home and family and real estate. And then on the 19th of December, Jupiter, which is the luckiest planet, the grand benefic, enters the sign of Aquarius, where it will be transiting on and off until December 29th of 2021. Jupiter is exalted in the fourth house of home. So this brings good opportunity to either find a bigger space if you're thinking of moving, to fix up your place. If you're working at home, again, this will bring ample opportunities and just feeling more prosperous. So really focusing on fixing up your home and issues with family and your own emotional foundation. It's metaphoric for that too. So that's a big, big deal. And the day that Jupiter enters Aquarius, Venus in Sagittarius forms a trine to Chiron, the wounded healer. And I think that shows to me that through connection, which is Aquarius is all about community and connection, and it's also about brilliance and innovation, that through connecting, which is and seeking community, whatever that means for you, that we heal these wounds. And that's going to be imperative in this healing process. And I think it also is an auspicious sign of all the opportunities that the age of Aquarius has in store. And on the 20th of December, Mercury exits the sign of Sagittarius and enters the sign of Capricorn, which is in your house of communication and marketing and sales, and it'll be there until January 8th. So this is a good time to promote yourself and network. And then on the 21st of December, we have the winter solstice at 5:02 a.m. Eastern time. The sun enters 0 degrees of the cardinal earth sign of Capricorn, but it's not the age of Capricorn, and it happens. And so the sun stops still, and we reflect on what the world has been this year in our lives, what's gone on, and the year ahead of us, and honoring the people that have left us, and honoring the people in our lives, and what we want, what's of value to us. And the really, really big deal too of the winter solstice this year is that Saturn and Jupiter meet up at 1:21 p.m. Eastern time at 0 degrees and 29 minutes of Aquarius, and they form what's known as a great cycle, which occurs every 20 years, which when the two planets meet up, and this is structuring the vision. This is a new time, and this is the age of Aquarius. This is officially. So I would definitely, target the 21st for ceremonies, or whether you're doing them with other people or yourself. It's a really big deal, and I think really exciting, of infinite possibilities. And on the 24th of December, Mercury forms a trine to Uranus in the sky, and that's very innovative energy. That's a good day to target for writing projects and just coming up, with brainstorming ideas, all of that. On the 25th or the 26th, depending on where you live, the sun in Capricorn squares Chiron in the sky, Chiron the wounded healer, and it puts us in touch with the wounds, which makes sense at this time of year in such a painful time. And on the 27th of December, the sun trines Uranus in the sky, giving us all a glimpse of the innovation possible with the age of Aquarius, and I think that's very exciting. And then on the 29th of December, we have a full moon that takes place at 8 degrees and 53 minutes of Cancer in its home sign. That's very sensitive energy. We've had eclipses in the Cancer Capricorn axis the last couple of years, and the final eclipse in Cancer occurred over the summer. There was a total solar eclipse during the solstice weekend, and just a lot around security that we've all been dealing with so intensely in the last couple of years, particularly this year. So that's going to be a sensitive ending to the year. But on the final day of the year, we have the moon in Leo, which rules the heart chakra. And the final influence it forms is a trine to Chiron, the wounded healer, which is a very magical influence. And it shows me that through love, because Leo rules the heart chakra, we can heal the wounds in this age of Aquarius. So I wish you a lot of luck, Scorpio, and take care. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.